Napoleon Bonaparte, legendary military commander, leader, and emperor of the French. Seven success facts to fuel your success. Number 1. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on Corsica, an island France acquired from the Genoese the same year that Napoleon was born. Napoleon's father had noble status, but he was not wealthy. The family was forced to live very modestly, and in fact, Napoleon spent his childhood in a dilapidated house. The second surviving son of 8 children, even as a child, Napoleon was domineering towards his siblings, including his elder brother. His mother deeply lamented his incorrigible behavior and despaired over his conduct. Number 2. At age 9, Napoleon was sent to military school with his brother. Being born on Corsica, his native language was Italian, and he had to learn to speak French, which he did with a Corsican accent, which made him stand out unfavorably among his peers. In contrast to the charisma Napoleon would be known for in later life, in school, he did not make friends. He was constantly bullied by other students, but fought back, refusing to accept their poor treatment. Number 3. In school, Napoleon began to utilize single-minded focus in his studies, a skill he would later employ to great success as a military leader. Napoleon detested dancing and singing and thought fencing was a useless skill for military training. Instead, he immersed himself in the study of military history and tactics, finding heroes in the likes of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. Number 4. Napoleon advanced to the Royal Military Academy in Paris. He completed his courses in record time, taking only a year instead of the typical 2. Deemed too young by the Navy, Napoleon was installed as a second lieutenant in the Royal Artillery. When Napoleon achieved the rank of general, he was the youngest general in France. He faced doubt from older leaders who thought that he was unaccomplished and inexperienced. Number 5. Napoleon is considered one of the greatest military minds in the history of warfare. He expanded France from its revolutionary borders to an empire stretching from Spain to the borders of Russia. Bonaparte had a formidable mind. During the campaign of 1805, one of his subordinates could not locate his own division. While the confused officer and his aides furiously searched through maps and papers, Napoleon informed the officer of his unit's present location, where they would be for the next 3 nights, and the status and resume of the units in question, along with the subordinate's military record. This was massively impressive to remember, given that Napoleon had a total of 200,000 men under his command, with all units on the move. One of his military tactics, the Ulm maneuver, Napoleon swung his forces to the southeast of the Austrian army at the fortress of Ulm in Swabia, southwestern Germany. And Napoleon's Grand Army performed an elaborate wheeling movement that outflanked the Austrian positions. The maneuver completely surprised the Austrian general Mack, who realized too late that his army was cut off. Napoleon had managed to capture a total of 60,000 Austrian soldiers through his rapid marching. Napoleon would later write, "I have accomplished my object. I have destroyed the Austrian army by simply marching." He also faced several assassination attempts. Bonaparte used these assassination plots in conjunction with his impressive military victories to expand his power and justify the creation of an imperial system based on the Roman model. He launched a referendum where Napoleon was elected as Emperor of the French, with an unbelievable tally of 99% in favor of Napoleon. Equally impressive, the referendum brought out an astonishing 3.6 million voters to the polls. Number 6. One of Napoleon's most notable contributions was the Napoleonic Code, officially known as the Civil Code of the French, established in 1804 and still in force, although frequently amended. The three major principles were civil liberty, equality before the law, and secular character of the state. At a crucial time in France's history, Napoleon implemented laws that required all French citizens to pay taxes, not just commoners and peasants, a divergence from the pre-revolutionary regime that had exempted the majority of the nobility and clergy from paying taxes. The Napoleonic Code also gave serious reforms to educating the people of France, as well as allowing freedom of profession. This change did away with hereditary positions and gave those with talent the opportunity to achieve. Number 7. In 1801, Napoleon mollified the Vatican by decreeing that Catholicism was the predominant religion of the people of France, but also granting religious freedom to Protestants and Jews. In 1802, Napoleon established the National Order of the Legion of Honor to reinstate a system of recognition to those who have carried out actions of great value by their own merit. The Napoleonic Code was adopted and later modified or modernized by many European and Latin American countries, as well as maintaining a lingering influence today in the state of Louisiana. Though a controversial figure today, Napoleon is still one of the most widely studied and influential military generals of all time. If you made it this far, hit the like button to let us know you want more content like this. Like and share with the ambitious in your life, and check out the SDH Legend Library in the description below. SuccessfulDailyHabits.com. Learn from legends. Be legendary.